If you were to think of the most beloved actor of our time, who would you think of? Many of us would say Henry Cavill. Support for Henry has only increased tenfold since James Gunn and Peter Safran took over DC Studios and decided to replace Henry as Superman. If you want to hear how his fans have reacted to the change in casting for the iconic role and everything Henry has coming up, keep watching. It's really quite easy to see why people love Henry. He's good-looking, a bit of a nerd, charismatic, and British. Basically, this is the perfect recipe for a cult following, especially with all of the publicity surrounding Henry recently. And remember, even negative attention can be beneficial, and with Henry being let go as Superman, that's exactly what happened. In order to understand the full scope of the scandal, we need to go back to 2013, when Henry Cavill was cast as Superman in Man of Steel. It may be hard to imagine now, but at one time, the DC Extended Universe was the gold standard of superhero movies, and it all started with Man of Steel. It was the beginning of the famous Snyderverse, and Henry Cavill absolutely killed it as a darker, grittier Superman. Just a few months ago, Henry even appeared as Superman in a cameo at the end of Black Adam.
Black Adam. We should talk.
Implying that the studio would be reprising his role. And the reason that James Gunn and Peter Safran gave for replacing Henry was that they were looking to reboot the franchise with a younger Superman. Not only that, but Henry was also replaced in his role in The Witcher by Liam Hemsworth. This was rumored to have been done to free him up for training for his Superman role. Ooh, that's awkward. But it's not all bad news for Henry. His name has been brought up a few times in talks of who will replace Daniel Craig as James Bond. One fan tweeted, "Curious if the Broccoli's, or the Bond producers, wanted Henry Cavill for 007, but he had prior commitments. Said he'd think about it, canceled those commitments, and has freed himself up for the next 10 years to fully commit himself to that role. Witcher is fine, Superman is nice, but Bond is Bond." Whether or not Henry does move forward with chasing the James Bond role, he has kept his famously positive attitude. One of my best friends says, "Love living, and life is for living." I take that with me because work is really enjoyable, but it can also be very tough, and it can be very consuming as well. If work is all-consuming during that period of time, you should be enjoying it. If I'm not enjoying it, then I'm doing it wrong. It's easy to see why Henry has gathered so much popularity over the years. And now, just to take a trip down memory lane, we thought we would take a moment to discuss Henry's most famous and least famous roles. Most of us know that Henry found great success on shows like The Tudors and The Witcher, but have you heard of the movie Laguna? At just 18 years old, Henry played the role of Thomas, a boy who falls in love with his uncle's wife. The movie itself isn't very memorable, but it did give Henry a chance to break into the industry. Similarly, he did another rom-com in 2009 called Whatever Works, starring alongside Evan Rachel Wood. Again, not a 5-star film by any means, but it served its purpose. And then there was Mission Impossible: Fallout. Henry had the unique opportunity to play a villain in this movie, and he was electric. And guys, don't even get me started on his thick, luxurious mustache in that movie. I mean, this mustache is on Tom Selleck levels. Also, the movie did super well at the box office, boasting a 97% rating on the popular film rating website Rotten Tomatoes. And guys, did you know that Henry was also in Hellraiser: Hellworld? This movie came out way back in 2005 and went straight to DVD in the US. Seriously, what is with this guy and all of these movies we've never heard of? I didn't know he had done so much acting before landing his Superman role. Anyway, in Hellraiser: Hellworld, Henry plays a video game enthusiast who is invited to an event with other gamers. This movie follows the typical story found in the Hellraiser stories. Again, This seems to have been a great source of practice for Henry as a young actor. What can we learn from this list of honestly very forgettable projects that Henry has been involved in? What's most important to remember when looking at this list is that Henry is not a bad actor. He has more than proven himself as a charismatic and likable actor, and for all of his less successful projects, there is another show or movie that he dazzled in. I guess it just goes to show how it doesn't matter how talented your actors are if the writing and directing cannot support their talent. Henry's career feels like a roller coaster, but not because he isn't good at his job. In fact, I would argue that it's his talent and his positive attitude that have earned him so much loyalty from his fan base. Had he not been such a likable guy, he may not have experienced such a wave of support from fans. After it came out that he had lost both his roles in The Witcher and Superman, articles and blogs started coming out accusing DC Studios and Netflix of treating him poorly. We can even look at a similar situation with a different industry person who has also been let go by DC Studios as a comparison. Patty Jenkins, aka the director of the movie Monster. You know, the one that catapulted Charlize Theron into superstardom? Patty Jenkins directed Wonder Woman and was on deck to direct the third Wonder Woman film before DC Studios underwent its change in management. Despite the situations being quite similar, there has been markedly less support for Patty Jenkins than there has been for Henry Cavill. Jenkins is clearly a talented person and has a strong creative drive. Before exiting DC Studios, she had been in talks with Marvel to potentially direct Thor: The Dark World, but was ultimately unimpressed with the movie. She had also turned down a different project to make sure she could focus on the third Wonder Woman movie, just like Henry left The Witcher to make time for training as Superman. So, does it all come down to luck? While earning fame and popularity online may seem like a matter of luck, it's most likely more of a matter of timing and internet presence. However it happened, it definitely seems as though Henry has earned his online fan base, and it's working for him. We may even see Twitter bully the 007 franchise into hiring him. Do you guys think he would accept the role if we could do that? I choose to think he would. Anyway, that's all we have for today. If you haven't already, please like and share this video with your friends, and don't forget to leave us a comment letting us know what you think of Henry, his loss of these roles, and his upcoming projects. If you don't want to miss any new videos, hit the notification bell, and you'll always be one of the first to know. See you all in the next one.